Well, good morning and welcome back. It is the morning of day 3 of my 1st of December wellness challenge where I am dining well on potatoes, vegetables, and fruits, giving myself a break from caffeine and starting out the day with some lemon water, about half a cup of this, squeezing in the juice of half of a lemon. That was how I started my morning today. Thank you for coming back if you've watched the other videos. If not, my name is Tiffany Anderson. I am the founder of Anderson Therapeutics and a health educator, patient advocate, health coach, and this is a way that I am investing in my wellness and getting a jump start on my 2026 health goals. If you saw my previous videos, I took on some ambitious health goals for 2025, and that started in December of 2024. So that's why I'm investing in this process again, to give myself an even stronger foundation of moving forward into the new year. Just a little recap of what's been happening, and I have a very, very busy day out in the field and came across some challenges yesterday that I think a lot of you may be able to relate to, and that is having an emotional day, an afternoon slump, and having some cravings because of an emotional experience. That's what happened for me yesterday, and I have been prepared for the challenge itself, and also came up against a meeting yesterday morning. I work in the field of public health for my one of my jobs. I work multiple jobs, and my corporate gig is I am working out in the field serving low-income families. There's always health challenges, emotional challenges, psychological challenges, and sometimes that can weigh heavy on our heart. The meeting yesterday for our entire team was a presentation on something called purple crying. That for my generation, and others may also understand the term colic, and it was really enlightening to learn that colic is something that a doctor came up with in 1954. It has never been, nor was it at the time, considered a medical diagnosis. It was a term given to why little ones cry, and the whole leading to shaken baby head trauma. So, needless to say, it was a very emotional, upsetting, and as I reached my afternoon slump and also faced some other challenges just in driving, facing the day, that I found myself in an unexpected situation where I didn't have enough of my potatoes and foods handy, and gave myself time to journal, to meditate, have a moment of stretching, and then realize that as long as I was gifting myself with a food that fit within my dietary plan of the Starch Solution, which is what I have been following since 2016, and that as long as it was a whole food, plant-based, oil-free choice, that I was certainly okay as an adult, someone who takes responsibility for whatever I, put in my mouth and I consume, that it was okay to have a whole grain, have a little more fruit, and give myself some additional food. The bonus of it all is that even though I stepped away from the potatoes, I gifted myself with food that I would have nourished myself with anyway. My weight didn't go up. I still experienced really great sleep, and woke up bright and early this morning, even went back to sleep for a little while, knowing that I was going to have a really busy day and that I've already gotten my workout done. I already invested part of my workout with my light box. For those of you who aren't using one of these. I live in Utah, and the winters are very dark, and I also experience that emotional, that sad, that seasonal affective disorder. So using a light box, this was part of a medical purchase, so I was able to get this through my insurance company, and I've been using this for years. It was prescribed to me, and using this for a half hour in the morning once the days get dark. I usually start using this after daylight savings, if that's a thing in wherever area you're in. And let me know in the comments, do you use a light box? Have you in the past? Do you have good results with this? I find this really helpful in the morning, especially if I'm feeling a little down, a little emotional. Maybe I've had, a bad dream, something like that. This really peps me up. And so I did this while I was doing my leg lifts in the morning. And this, since it's a Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday are the days that I incorporate strength training. And so I also had my light box on while I was lifting weights, and I've shared in another video how I have a home gym. Even though I have a very small space, I have a little tiny historic home, and really minimal. It works great for me since I'm aging solo and I have tons of adequate space for my little self. And I set up a home gym during the pandemic. I was always a gym goer, and when I travel, I certainly love the gyms. I use the hotel gyms, especially the fancy spa ones. If you saw my little video when I was in Las Vegas, Caesar's Palace has a stunning 24-hour gym, and it's spectacular. So this was weight day. I did cardio. I still did my core routine, only because we can work our core every day, and that helps to strengthen my lower back. I have artificial joints, I have osteoporosis and osteoarthritis, so everything that I can do. And ladies, please tell me that you are strength training, even if it's the wall push-ups, squats, lunges, anything that you're just using your own body weight. That is great to protect our bones. That was my morning routine, and I've already prepped up my meals for the day. I've got sweet potatoes and russets in the oven. I was low on those, so I'm baking those to start me on my day. I've got a number of buildings I need to go to for staff meeting and trainings and that type of thing, plus my field work. So I'm going to have a very long day, and since I travel a lot, having a electric lunch box, if you haven't seen these, I just recently discovered this summer, and it's really been really a great find for me, only because I follow a particular diet, and I typically will travel with my own food, or I go to grocery stores to save money for one thing, and I want to feel my best, and food is medicine in my world. So for my lunch, you can see in there, it's the little last bit of my veggie mash, and that is something that I had for Thanksgiving. It was russet potatoes with the peeling on. I put some carrots in there, a little bit of cauliflower and garlic, and then I've got my gravy on there, a little bit of, maybe you can't see that as well. There's some of my cranberry orange relish and green beans with some horseradish mustard. So that will be my lunch. And since I'm going to be out and about and have such a long day, I'm more than likely going to be eating my breakfast on the way, and it's okay for us to eat during staff meetings. So I will be doing that. That's why I'm baking the russet potatoes right now. I'm not super hungry. I had a really big dinner. I posted that in a short last night. And so for this morning, as I'm, heading out, I've got some broccoli. So I'm going to steam some broccoli and just eat this on the way, have some roasted russets with me. And there's just something really soothing and calm on a day where it's barely going to get over 30 degrees today, of having warm potatoes with me in my pocket. And I just eat them plain. They honestly are so soothing and nourishing, and I love potatoes. I've always loved them, even when I've had You know, I was on a high protein diet. I mean, I've never gone without plenty of vegetables and fruits. And if you haven't read the Starch Solution or seen any of Dr. McDougall's films, please do so. I will put that in the description below, a link to Dr. McDougall's website. He did pass away last year, though his wife and his daughter Heather have, you know, taken the torch. So the McDougall Foundation isn't going anywhere. There's a whole team. The Starch Solution has been around for over 4 decades, so if you haven't heard of it, like I hadn't, and I was even teaching nutrition when I learned about it, it's life-changing, miraculous. I became a Star McDougall, and my success story is actually on Dr. McDougall's website, and I'll put that link below if you want to read and see kind of why my life changed and why I switched over to what some people feel is a pretty dramatic diet, and I disagree. It's so easy for me, and I don't miss animal products. It was harming me, and I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, a number of other health problems, and they are gone, and I'm better managing the chronic conditions I have now. And the only medication I take is a thyroid medication because I've had Hashimoto's disease since I was in my 30s. And as we all know, with our thyroid, once that gland is damaged, it requires treatment. So that's it for me, and I manage pain well. That is part of my whole 3 key concepts to improved health. The new ebook that I wrote goes live tomorrow on Amazon. If you're curious at all about my soothe, nourish, rest concept and way of living, that's my foundation that I've been practicing for decades. That is offered. The foundational tools of that is on my website. That's been offered freely since 2016. Go to andersontherapeutics.com. There's lots of free resources, tips, and tools for any adult, caregiver, anyone wanting to better manage their health, especially if you have chronic conditions. With my lunch and dinner, since I'm going to be out really late, I will be in my office for a little while so that after lunch I will be able to wash this out and have that all prepped and ready for what I'm going to be having for dinner. So for dinner, then, with the sweet potatoes that are baking in the oven right now, I will cube those up. And then I have this is like an Asian vegetable medley in here. It's frozen right now. It's just going to go in my lunch pack with some ice packs. And I have some sweet chili sauce on here and pepper and a little bit of sesame seeds. So that will go with the sweet potatoes cube. That will go in here. And the spinach that I had yesterday, that combination, it wound up being so good. I'll be doing that one again. So the spinach that I had with the russet potatoes and the balsamic glaze, it was really yummy. So the leftover spinach, I put some more lemon juice on there. This is just canned spinach. I love fresh. I love frozen. Leafy greens. Great antioxidants. And for this time of year, especially since I work in the field and I'm out in some high-risk areas and populations, that protecting my immune system and avoiding all of the cooties that are going around, and wherever you are, you know, it's cold, flu, cough, all of that season. So preventing all of that illness, that's another reason food is medicine in my world. So those will go back in here, and that will be after I finish my workday, rather than getting stuck in what would be like a 50-minute minimum commute as far as where I'm going to be finishing my workday in the valley. I don't want to be stuck in evening traffic, so I will just go somewhere lovely like a library, or maybe have some little errands to do type of thing. Heat up my dinner in here and stop somewhere, have my dinner, and then give myself a little nice evening as I watch the sunset and not be stressed out driving in evening traffic. And then dinner will be done and I'll have the whole evening to myself. For some little crunchy items. I've got some radishes and I have some slices of English cucumber. I have the bread and butter pickles that I didn't wind up eating the other day, so I'll have those with me, that just in case I want that little snack. I have some applesauce with cinnamon in here, and then I have a banana for whenever I want to eat that. I may eat it with breakfast, I may wait for later. So that is it for the day. I'm feeling really good, and I encourage you to add more vegetables to your day, whether you want to, take on a full vegan, plant-based, Starch Solution, vegetarian, whatever dietary plan you're on right now. My motto, as I've shared before, as a health coach, as a patient advocate, as a friend, as a family member, I always tell people that, eat what you want and just accept the consequences of your dietary choices. There's always going to be a result from whatever we eat. Our bodies aren't stupid. Sometimes we treat them like they are. And I've binged, I've feasted, I've gone overboard on junk food and all that type of thing. It would be pretty rare for any American to have not experienced that. And whether you have or not, whatever works for your body, honor that, respect that. For an older adult managing chronic conditions, food can either be our friend or that sabotaging foe. That is something on my website, on my Nourish page. And because of the miraculous health results that I've experienced with my dietary plan, food is now my friend. And I'm very in tune with my body, with all of the side effects that I'm experiencing from having chronic conditions that aren't going to get better, and they're more than likely to get worse as I age. That's where being a very proactive person and addressing that head on, working as a team with my healthcare providers, knowing that as I stay present and do actions like this, whether it's, and the potatoes are done, the light box in the morning for my mood, for my emotional health, the lemon water in the morning, that's for loving my liver, and it's a palate cleanser. It's a refreshing way to start my day. And the strength training, this stuff is so good. If you're not strength training, please incorporate a strength training routine. And YouTube now has wonderful videos on how to address form, the weights that you should use. Of course, there's gyms everywhere and fitness trainers, though. Know that if you're an adult and you're on a fixed income, you're on a budget, there are ways to do this even with soup cans or water bottles. There's wonderful ways to incorporate that into your day. I'm going to get the potatoes out of the oven, get going, because I need to leave in about 40 minutes, and I still got to clean up and get going. Thanks so much for watching. Please give this a thumbs up and subscribe, check back, and let me know in the comments what you think and how you are taking better care of yourself to age well. Have a good day.